Hello lovelies, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing chicken chow mein. That has been requested by my family members. They always want to buy chicken chow mein and then they have requested that I do it for them. So this is going to be our dinner that I'm going to share with my friends on YouTube. So if you are a first timer on this channel, I welcome you to the family, and if you're already here, I'm always happy to have you back. Today this recipe is a recipe that most people love. It is a Chinese recipe and it is filled with vegetables and it is super delicious. I hope you stay here with me whilst I go step by step on how this was achieved. So let's get started. Here I have my chicken that I have finely sliced and it is ready for me to marinate. So this is chicken breast of about 1.25 pounds. So this is what I'll be using for the chow mein, and to that I will be seasoning it with some black pepper, a teaspoon of black pepper, and also I have here some baking soda. Sometimes I do use eggs and cornstarch, but today I wanted to use the baking soda to give it more glazing. And to that I've added in my black soy sauce, which I'm going to stir everything up nicely together. And to that I'll be covering it up because I'm going to put it in the refrigerator for about 15 minutes. So I'll cover it up with a cling film or a transparent plastic. So this is our chow mein, the one I'll be using for the chow mein recipe. As you can see, I'm using a 14 ounce for this recipe and it is already steamed, so I'm not going to do much on it. I'm going to just add in boiling water and let it sit for 10 seconds. So here I have my bowl ready and I've taken out the steamed chow mein, which I'm going to add in the boiling water to it, and you should make sure to follow the instructions at the back of it to prevent the chow mein from going too soft or mushy. And you can find this chow mein in any Chinese supermarket near you. It is available in most of the Chinese supermarkets. So this is where I got this chow mein from and I'm using. So as you can see, I'm opening it up before the 10 seconds and then I'll make sure everything is cooked and separated well. So here I have my ice water with some cubes in. I'm going to give my chow mein a bath so that it cools completely. So I have poured out the hot water from it and I have put it in another strainer where I have set that strainer in the cold water or the ice water to make sure it cools the chow mein completely. So this is the reason why I'm doing that, because I don't want the chow mein to become too soft or mushy. So I'm using my fork to open it up to make sure everywhere is covered with the cold water. So what I'll be doing next is to take the strainer out of the cold water and set it aside for 15 minutes until I'm ready to use it. So I have a bowl here. I'm going to prepare my sauce for the chow mein, chicken chow mein recipe. So here I'm pouring in my oyster sauce, about 2 tablespoons of oyster sauce, and I've added in some black soy sauce. To that I have some sugar, about 1.5 teaspoons of sugar that I'm adding into it, and also I'm pouring in Uncle Chen's fresh pepper sauce. You can get this from any Chinese supermarket around you, or any fresh pepper sauce of your choice. You can use it for this recipe. So I'm stirring everything up nicely together. And then around this time, it will depend how you want your sauce to be, spicy or a little bit sweet. So it will depend on how you want it. So the measurement will be of your choice. And to that, I'm going to add in some sesame oil, about a tablespoon of sesame oil, and I'll stir everything up together to give it that consistency that I need for the recipe. So I'm stirring everything up, and then I will taste to see if the amount taken is okay for the sauce. So to that, I've also added in some rice vinegar that I almost left out. So I've added that in, and then I've stirred everything up together. So our sauce for the recipe is ready. And here I've come back to the chow mein, and as you can see, I have put it on a tray, and I'm still making sure it is dry. Here, if you have a tray or a parchment paper, you can pour it on it to make sure it dries up well. It is dried all right, but I feel like there are some parts that are not, so that's why I'm using my paper towel to dab it up to make sure it is very dry before I use it for the recipe. And here are the other ingredients that I'm going to use. I have here my sliced cabbage, which I've sliced into strips, as well as my carrot sliced into strips as well, that I'll be using. Also, I have my scallions, that is the green part of the spring onions, and I have the spring onions itself that I've also chopped, and you can cut it any style you want. Also, I have there my celery that I have chopped into diagonal. You can do it any style you want. Here I have my pan ready on fire, or wok ready on fire, which I've poured in some olive oil. And to that, I'm going to saute in the celery, the chopped celery, and also I will add in the sliced or the strip carrots, and I'm sauteing this for about 2 minutes. I don't want it to be too soft, so it's just going to be on fire for 2 minutes, and I'll take it out of fire and then set it aside in a bowl. So the 2 minutes is up, and then I'm taking it out of the wok into a bowl. So the chicken is ready to go inside the wok. You have to make sure the fire is high around this time for the wok to be super hot, for the chicken to fry as quickly as possible. So I'm stirring up, or I'm sauteing the chicken in the wok, and it's going to take about 5 to 8 minutes for it to be done. So as you can see, I don't want it to get stuck at the bottom. I'm stirring it nicely, and the chicken is all done. Here I'm taking out the chicken from the wok or the pan into a bowl, and I'm going to set that aside. Here I'm going to add in some oil, and to that I'm going to add in the spring onions that is chopped, and then I'll saute that for about 2 minutes. I forgot to add this ingredients, to show you this ingredients. Actually, that is the grated garlic and ginger. That is what I have just added to the spring onions. So I'm sauteing all of it together. I'm adding a little bit of oil because I don't want the the vegetables to get burnt easily, because the wok is super hot. And to that, I'm putting in the chow mein into the wok. In smaller quantities. I don't want to put everything up together, so I just had a handful of chow mein. I've added it to the spring onions, which I'm stirring up nicely with a spatula to make sure everything is evenly done. So I'll go ahead and add more chow mein in and continue to stir. Around this time, you lower your fire from high to medium heat, because you wouldn't want your chow mein to get burnt. And then to that, I'm adding in the sauce that I made earlier on to the chow mein, and then I will gently stir everything up nicely. To get the color even for the chow mein. Also, I'm going to add in the fried chicken to the recipe. So I've poured all the chicken in there, and stirring everything nicely and gently to get it mixed with the chow mein. So around this time, you have to be patient when stirring it up, because we have a lot of ingredients to add up to the recipe. To that, I'm going to add in the fresh cabbage sliced. So this is the time for me to add all the vegetables in. So the fresh cabbage is firstly going in. So I will stir everything up nicely. I'll give it a gentle stir. I'm doing this because I don't want the vegetables to be mushy. I want the crunchiness of it when enjoying it. That is why I put all the vegetables almost at the bottom, or almost at the end of the recipe. So as you can see, I'm stirring everything up nicely together to mix up well with the chow mein. And everything is just looking good. To that, I've also added in the scallions, and this is giving it a pop of color. So I will stir that also gently and nicely to mix up with the rest of the ingredients. And to that, I'm adding in the sauteed carrot and celery that I made before. Those were a little bit hard, that is why I sauteed them. It's not like the cabbage that will be very soft as soon as the heat hit it. So that is why I sauteed those vegetables. So I've added them as the last ingredients or vegetables for the recipe. And this is how the chicken chow mein is looking. The aroma here is just so amazing. It feels like I'm in the Chinese restaurant already. So lovelies, I added in a mixture of soy sauce and some oyster sauce to give the chow mein more flavor. This is optional. If you want it, you add it to it. If you don't, that's fine. And so this is how our chicken chow mein is made. I hope you enjoyed watching the video. So go ahead and give it a try and send me comments down below in the comment section how you did. And I hope to send you another video, and I will put all the ingredients and the measurements in the description box down below. And if you have any comments, don't hesitate to send me a message, and I'm ever ready to respond to your message. Thank you so much for all the support. I hope to send you another video, and thank you. Bye.